So silly. So silly.
Yeah.
The showings.
That's good. I mean, yeah.
It's a bit quiet.
Might as well let, because I just, the guys say going to stand 10 minutes, so it's yeah. Just in case, sorry. Just in case the score, everyone score. I'm not sure which team playing.
Okay, Oakville,
Hopefully on
who are on the left. They're in
and
purple.
then middle score.
They're in purple. No, they're not physically, but if you look at this, so Oakville is in the left, they're in purple. It's in green in that yellow. But I'll say it as well. You'll hear it, of course.
No, because I'm not really doing soccer. And yes, I need to be careful. Don't be.
Of course. What's this? Holy shit. Is that on fire?
No, I think just cold.
Why is it smoke?
No, this is cold air over there. You cold, but it's not bad.
It's not like it was actually burning. That's the problem.
Oh, decent. No,
Yeah, no, seriously. Where's the air conditioning man?
I think it's just first time using it.
Should be someone by the name of Tim's. Chris Tim's is already playing. Apparently it's his uncle. I don't know what his first name is.
Oh, Gareth. Oh, yeah, Gareth.
What?
It's Gareth.
What's his number?
His number is 6.
Thank you, sir.
No worries, brother.
That should be it. Alright, yeah, cool. Thanks very much. Bye. Cool. That'll do.
That's full time in our deployed Premier T2 reserves game as Eastern Creek win 3-0 over Oakville. The goal scorers for Eastern Creek, number 33, Troy Gallard, number 17, Liam Hamilton, and number 11, Brian Blair.
Probably 2 minutes. Football just has this knack of being the greatest poetic storyteller, you know? Football writes stories that you wouldn't believe, or perhaps the outcome seems impossible until you see it happen in front of you. It's like those math problems in school where they gave you the answer first, and your task was to find out how on earth they got there. Today's considered home side, Oakville, it's safe to say were one of, if not the hardest hit club in the district during the rains at the start of the year/season, perhaps even in the state. A record of 13 metres underwater their home ground went, their floodlights fizzing and frying as water levels went above the electrical boxes they connected to. That's not to say that Oakville were the only club affected though, don't get me wrong, but I am saying that unless the team were two avid participants in water polo, 13 metres underwater doesn't make any sort of pre-season training too easy to come by. Their opposition, Eastern Creek, a different story is being written here. Players who came together and formed a team who hadn't a Premier League club on offer prior to the season to that. They were top last year before we were cancelled. Two different stories, one incredible author, that being football. Today their stories collide in a beautiful sequel. Oakville sit top at the moment, Eastern Creek sit second. Having already played once this season, Oakville winning 5-3 in an 8-goal thriller, you could suggest that the sequel is already a couple of chapters in as of today. Certainly I can promise, these are the chapters you read back over once you finish the book. This is where the final table positions that will be upon us in a couple of months are decided. These are those games. This chapter perhaps could be titled The 6-Pointer. Welcome to Blacktown Football Park for this deployed Premier League 2 match between Oakville United and Eastern Creek Pioneer. My name is Mark DePoli. I'll be your commentator for this game and every other this season, and boy am I excited for this one. This place has held some incredible games already this season, and the match of the round has served up a 0-0 on 0 occasions prior to this, and I think that trend will be continuing today. Two teams on identical points, although Oakville have played a game less than their opposition, separated currently by goal difference. This is the time for Oakville to show on this match of the round live stream what they're all about for the first time this season as they push for the Premier's plate. This time 2 weeks ago we were raving on about the Tigers after they beat Prospect. They since lost twice since their win in that match of the round game when they won 3-2. If you do cast your mind back, those two clubs went from the top two to below the halfway mark in the space of 2 weeks. This league is crazy, and the points on offer today could genuinely put a marker down in this competition and highlight which team is the team to beat. I don't think we really know which is the team to beat yet, but I might suggest that whoever wins this one, if there is to be someone who comes away with 3 points, you could probably point towards them. Let's have a look at the 22 starting players who will be fighting tooth and nail to claim the 3 points today, shall we? I turn my pages and you can hear the music on in the background, which is probably going to give us a copyright strike, but it is what it is. It's all about the ground announcement atmosphere. I'd like to thank all the people that are here, watching along here on Facebook and YouTube. We had a slight delay, meaning that this game is going to be started a little later than normal. I hope you're just sitting here happy to just wait a little bit. Also inform you that the game prior to this ended 3-0 in favour of Eastern Creek. They're really putting a marker down in the reserve grade competition. Spoke to the coach of Oakville in midweek and he spoke about wanting to improve that of the ability of the reserve graders, I should say. We'll see how that comes in the coming weeks. I'll just leave the starting lineup for a little bit because I actually do believe that the grounds announcement music that's going on is affecting our viewership. So I'm going to ask our ground announcer to just turn that down for a little bit. And then I might just hang around until we get all of our viewership back. For those still watching along, there's just around 10 on the YouTube, but seem to have lost our Facebook viewership. So I'm actually going to hold everything and come back in a couple of minutes when I see the referees starting to emerge from the tunnel. And I'll go over everything I've already said, so sorry if you've already heard it once. I think it's worth hearing again for all of our audience. So please bear with me. And I will come back and you'll hear me very, very soon. I'm not sure what's going on. It's on YouTube. I'm not sure why it's not on Facebook. But I'm worried the music comes through and it's complicated because we went from 30 viewers down to 0, and now the live stream's not even there. Yeah. There's no viewers in this, which is we had 30, so I don't know where everybody is. Okay, so it's back, but
Is it YouTube? Not
this is on Facebook. The YouTube one is fine, but I don't know why no one's on here. Only one.
switch here. I think that's what live stream always took people from.
It is.
Especially the band song, the band worldwide.
Yep. So we've completely lost the viewership on Facebook because they copyright struck it straight away. So it's gone. So ready to go? Football just has this knack of being the greatest poetic storyteller, you know? Football writes stories that you wouldn't believe, or perhaps the outcome seems impossible until you see it happen in front of you. It's like those maths problems in school where they gave you the answer and your task was to find out how on earth they got there. Today's home side, Oakville, it's safe to say were one of, if not the hardest hit clubs in the district, perhaps even in the States at the start of the year after the rain and flooding. A record 13 metres underwater went their home ground, their floodlights fizzing and frying as water levels rose above the electrical boxes that they connected to. It's not to say that Oakville were the only club affected during that time, no. I am saying that unless the team were avid participants in water polo, 13 metres underwater doesn't make pre-season training any easier. Their opposition, Eastern Creek, a different story is being written here. Players who came together and formed a team who hadn't a Premier League club on offer prior to the season to that. They were top last season before we were cancelled. Two different stories, one incredible author, that being football. Today their stories collide in a beautiful sequel. Oakville sit top, Eastern Creek sit second. Having already played once this season, Oakville won that 5-3 in an 8-goal thriller. You could suggest that the sequel is already a couple of chapters in as of today. Certainly I can promise these are the chapters you read back over once you finish the book. This is where the final table positions in a couple of months are decided. This chapter perhaps could be titled The Six-Pointer. Welcome to Blacktown Football Park for this deployed Premier League 2 match between Oakville United and Eastern Creek Pioneer. My name is Mark DePoli. I'll be your commentator for this game and every other game this season, and boy am I excited for this one. This place has held some incredible games already this season in the match of the round, and the match of the round has never served up a 0-0, and I think that record will be continuing on today. That trend will go forth. Two teams on identical points, although Oakville have played a game less than their opposition, separated currently by goal difference. This is the time for Oakville, for the first time on a match around this season, to show what they're all about as they push for the Premier's plate. This time, 2 weeks ago, we were raving on about Tigers, but they've since lost twice since their winning of a prospect in the match of the round. Those two clubs went from top two to below the halfway mark in the space of those 2 weeks. This league is crazy, and the points on offer today could genuinely put a marker down in this competition and highlight which team is the team to beat. Let's have a look at the 22 players that are starting, who will be fighting tooth and nail to claim the 3 points later today. Shall we? Today's considered home side, as I said, Oakville in goal. Azarul Azahar, who wears the 72 jersey, 6 foot, 21-year-old, will be hoping to keep a clean sheet. Matt Ryan is not at the left back. He's at the left centre back role after a late drop. Chris Timms, who's in the 3 jersey, 23-year-old, goes in at left back instead. Matt Ryan, not to be confused with Matty Ryan, who plays for Socceroos. The captain next to them in right centre back, Sebastian Lutkovski. Chase Wynn, who we saw last season, of course, his father was also as the striker, starts on the right. Ben Barrett, a 17-year-old, sits as a screening 6 next to Yannick Mifsud in the 10. I'm just going to halt here while we stand around the circle and have a moment of silence. Thank you all for holding. Ben Barrett, 17-year-old, screens next to Yannick Mifsud, who wears the 10 jersey. Serkan Errol in the 15 jersey plays as that forward 10. Jackson Deeth on the right. Dylan Lutkovski, brother of Sebastian, is the 8 jersey on the left through the middle with 9 goals so far this season. Logan Wilkins. Their opposition today, who we've seen already, but this side, maybe you think to yourself, I haven't seen this side before. Eastern Creek have lined up already in the match of the round against Prospect in round 1. This side looks completely different. He didn't play in round 1, but here, Nicholas Sayer, the 23-year-old, who also stands at 6 foot, is back. Ben Watson, who wears 10, also was the reserve go goalkeeper, is a 19-year-old left back in the middle. Dedrick Catley-Bond, who wears the 2, and last season's captain, now vice-captain, Michael Ayo, next to him in the 3. Liam Hamilton, who's a striker, a right mid, and a right back. Today, he's right back. 17 jersey. Scored in the reserve go game prior to this. He's at right back. He'll get forward quite a lot. Still thinks he's a striker. Scotty Young, the captain in 6, who we've seen on the podcast, of course. Next to Sean Levitt in the 4 jersey. Scott and Sean as the 2 6s. Kurt Elbro, number 26-year-old on the right. That works quite well. Braden Keating, who got 2 goals, a brace in that match of the round in round 1, is on the right. He's already got a bunch of goals to his name, 7 in total, 5 assists to go with it. Brian Sohn, the 33-year-old striker, returning from a 2-year absence from the sport, but he did play for this club when they were all out in the Blue Mountains division. He's here and looking to put on a show after he got a hat-trick last week against Prospect. Next to him, Daniel Araujo, who got his first Premier League start as we do kick off here in this wonderful, slightly delayed, but certainly won't be a delayed start, if you know what I mean, in terms of the performances in the match of the round. So excited to be here with you. I hope you all enjoy. Deploy PL2 action live on your Saturday night here for you. We've already lost our first ball as it goes into touch. Let's see what both these sides can do. I'll remind you, Eastern Creek playing in their away jersey today, considered away even though we are at a neutral venue. Oakville for the first time looked to put a bit of pressure on that back line, which is a very changed back line compared to what we saw. A very small amount of players on the bench for their opposition. It's just the nature of injuries and commitments outside of this wonderful sport. I'm hoping that it's an equally as brilliant game as the first one was. There was 5 goals in the Eastern Creek game that we saw in round 1. They also went on to beat Prospect 4-1 just 7 days ago, as that's flicked on wonderfully there. Right. Serkan Errol. Didn't get to speak to Serkan, unfortunately, before the game started, but I'm expecting wonderful things from the man in the 15 jersey. Looks to be sitting alongside Logan Wilkins at the moment, the 9 who wears a 9, which is just a wonderful thing for my footballing brain. Works quite well, you know. Long that goes, first goal kick of the game taken by Eastern Creek. Nicholas Sayer in goal, who played along last year and was wonderful, and it's great to have him back. Forward, Eastern Creek come for the first time. Brian Sohn showing all the pace of a young man despite being at 33. He now looks to clip it into the middle of the area. That's a nice block in the end. Probably a goal-saving one. And Eastern Creek showing why they are so dangerous. They have a bit of vengeance about them, a bit of sting, of course. They lost 5-3 to this side already as we start to now go back and play second games against teams we've already played before. So, Of course, in this competition, it'll be best of 3. Who can come out on top in the 3 matches that everyone plays against each other? This will be the first corner, out swinging in. It comes by Eastern Creek, and at the back post looks to be was Zedric Catley Bond, but his attempt at goal went wayward. Very difficult to wrap his foot around that, but here he is again trying to make amends for that. Catley Bond, that's a very, very deep cross, and then the header just escaping that of Sohn, who was trying to get the flick on, and in the end, Azahar has a simple save to make. Back and forth action so far. Interesting to see how this midfield lines up for Oakville. I believe it's going to be very fluid. That's what I've noticed when I first watched them here on a Wednesday night in a catch-up game. Here's Yannick Mifsud, good friend of mine. Great to finally be able to cover him in a game like this. Catley Bond puts in a massive tackle there, and referees called it up. Cedric wondering why that was a free kick. We saw the last game get a little bit tense as Eastern Creek absolutely dominated proceedings from the first whistle to the last. I'm hoping for similar passion, but just a bit more, let's say, controlling of emotions and making sure that you channel it into a shot on goal rather than at each other. This is Sebastian Ludkovsky standing over it. Family is very involved in this Oakville club as he's whipped it in towards the back stick, but unfortunately couldn't quite tell if that was a cross or a shot. Neither did his own side, and it went out for another goal kick. No rush to take this. Here's Nicholas Sayer trudging along. When that concrete on that far side there does get wet, it is quite slippery, so he's quite wise in taking his time as he jumps back over the LJ Hooker Blacktown sign. Just a word of warning, due to the music that was playing around the ground prior to this game, looks like Facebook have decided to just... Actually, I'm going to stop because Brian Sohn might have a chance to flick one towards goal. He's been stopped. He believes it was a free kick that stopped him. And perhaps it might be the follow-up shot. Ooh! It's the back netting. Car park and the cars in there are safe. But that was a moment where Daniel Araujo could have put himself certainly in first-team contention for the rest of the season if he scored there. But we've got an issue here, and medics are being called over. He's moving around, which is great, but it looks like there was contact with the head. Let's hope everyone is okay. There is Matt Ryan, 25-year-old, first year back at the club. Played here 3 years in total. Was at Lowland Wanderers in the Nepean District Football Association. Looks like he's making his way back to his feet. Fantastic. Yes, so looks like the Facebook stream has been, I guess, taken off of your Facebook feeds because of the music that was playing, which is something we'll solve for next time we're back here. Until then, looks like everyone's made the wise decision. Coming across to the YouTube page, great to have you all. Of course, plenty of games were cancelled today, so more reason for people to come and visit, come watch live, or watch along live, as now Serkan Errol looks to make his mark on the game. Goes inside, then outside, then back outside again. That's Mifsud now into the box. Former Malta under-19 international was calling for a corner there. He's going to find his side having to defend this goal kick. Quite a still night here. The wind non-existent. Not quite cold either. I'm sitting here with the jacket off and would have had the aircon on to keep me warm, but I don't need it in shorts as well. Especially if the aircon hadn't almost caught fire before this started, I'll have you know. It's back to goal. He's got to be really careful here. There's Sean Levitt. Next to Captain Scotty Young, he goes forward a whole lot more, I've been told, whereas Scotty Young likes to stay back. I'm going to call it the Casemiro role, if you've been watching along. It would have been an impossible one to keep in, and that's why it's gone out for a goal kick. Nice idea there by Jackson Death, whose two brothers, Rob and Steve, of course, play for Quakers Tigers, and they beat, or I should say they were beaten by their younger brother, 20-year-old Jackson, with 6 assists to his name, yet to grab a goal for himself. But everybody just seems to be feeding Logan Wilkins, and everyone told me before the game that they seem to be the one who's getting him all the assists. I've had about 3 players tell me they've assisted every single one of Logan's 9 goals. So we'll see who's fibbing perhaps by the end of the 90 minutes here. Bit of back and forth in possession. No one looking to really keep it for a significant amount of time. Look at the pace here of Logan Wilkins. He's in behind the Eastern Creek defence. Good recovery tackle there and cleared nicely in the end, but only as far as Dylan Lutkovsky. And the younger of the 2 players here, one at centre back, one at left wing. Lost the ball. Mifsud's recover it though, up against Keating, another one of the star players, but that one in yellow rather than purple. Of course, you could call them Ravens, as you can tell by their badge as well, Oakville. Keating now looks ahead and looks to find Daniel Araujo ahead of him. He's been outpaced by the centre back who wears 11, which is one of those things that really bugs me. Should be in a very low number jersey there, or playing on the wing. If he swapped with his brother, it would make a whole lot more sense. You might not understand where I'm coming from there, but I certainly do. Just a bit of a football purist like that. Don't worry, I find me annoying as well. 50-50 both went in for it there. It's going to be a goal kick in the end for Azharul Azahar, whose parents are Malaysian, of Malaysian descent. 21-year-old goalkeeper, a little shy to chat to me before the game, but happy to, nonetheless. Seems like a great human. Have a big role to play today, though. Almost had an opportunity to make an important save, but it was blocked off by the defenders ahead of him. Brian Sohn, his run forward is halted. In that 25 jersey, he's really going to be one to watch today. Wednesday night hat-trick he got. He is more of a target man, which might be something he's come by as he's crossed the boundary of age 30. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that too much. There's plenty of experienced players in the Eastern Creek lineup, but certainly showing a lot of pace, in fact, deadly pace. So he likes to bring others into the game, but certainly I reckon he can do a lot of it himself as well. He was on the score sheet and I believe the assist sheet as well in round 1. We'll see how that translates into today. Much change Eastern Creek lineup from that game. Here's one who doesn't change though. Keating, let's see how he can use his pace. He's being closed down really, really nicely there actually. Ben Barrett, the 17-year-old, his first season playing at Prem level. He's been at the club though for 10 years, so 17-year-old been here for 10 years. You can imagine that's large majority of his young life. He's one of the youngest players we've had in the match of the round, not just this season, not just this week, but every. I thought there might have been a penalty called up there for an off-the-shoulder sort of touch, but no, Mifsud actually won it for his side. He's more of a 10, Yannick. Interesting to see how far forward he's willing to float. Certainly won't be someone who I'm labelling as nosebleed when they go up that high. Very much used to being on the ball the most. Scored a 40-yard free kick on a Wednesday night game against it wasn't St. Pat's. It was actually might have been Eastern Creek in their first game, that 5-3. It was a demonstrable amount of goals there. Here is Mifsud, ball over the top, looking for Wilkins. This time, Sayer is really, really brave in getting to there first. You could hear the coming together of 2 players and the goalkeeper. He's then cleared that well clear of the halfway line. Not the greatest flick on there by Chris Timms, who was a late inclusion into the squad. His first season in the club, he actually likes to be more of an overlapping fullback, so we'll see how him and Chase Wynn both do that. He does like to actually make inverted runs at times and link up with the likes of Serkan and Yannick. We'll see. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist to his name. I'm not sure in what kind of positions he got those, but I'm excited to see perhaps another one added to his tally today. Lots of fullbacks that press up nice and high in the PL1 and PL2. As now they come forward here. Interesting touch there by Deeth, but he has retained possession. He then goes long and across his body. Intercept is really easy by Vice Captain Mick Ayo. 31-year-old, plenty of experience. You can see him commanding his back line to press higher, be stronger, be fitter. Of course, Matt Hederick, the coach, you've seen feature on the Black 10 Football Hour podcast. We would have got Danny Aboud in, the Oakville coach and perhaps their captain as well, Sebastian Ludkowski, but it wasn't to be. Of course, our focus is elsewhere with Female Football Week, which is just about come to a close, but keep your eye on your socials. We've got plenty of content to come out, wrapping up the last 7 days of action. It's been wonderful. If you're a female watching along, I encourage you to keep playing, keep dreaming. We've got the 2023 World Cup coming up. I think it's a great thing that 1 in 4 players here are female. Love to see those evened out numbers one day. In the meantime, though, Oakville have a corner to defend again. Plenty of height in that box. Almost every single Oakville jersey in the box. There was a push and a shove and a free kick in the way of those in purple. Both teams calling for each other to get their shape as quick as possible. Long that goes by Azahar. Lutkovsky, that being Dylan, has got out of his feet nicely. Mifsud with a lot of work to do. Another one who's just past that 30-year gap. 32 himself. Actually given away a free kick there. Really well hustled in the end by Liam Hamilton, who had multiple goals to his name when we were commentating him last year. Has plenty already this year, just not in the match of the round. He hasn't featured up as high on the pitch when he's been on the live stream. Certainly not camera shy though. It will be a great performance today. Sohn with a wonderful flick on. Adrario is there, looking to bully his way into the box. Adrario on the left foot, easy save. It should be, and it is. Really nicely done. Great technique there as he fell onto the ball by Azahar. On that goes, clear of the halfway line. Plenty of players rising, but it's been allowed to bounce. Ayo then wins that one. His brother on the bench, that being Daniel Ayo. Wide that goes. Chase Wynn, who was a hard worker to say the absolute least. Forward he comes. That's the upwards run I was talking about. Into the box, flat. It's cleared, and then Mifsud, he completely miskicks that. Encouraging claps for those around the ground in purple colours, and there are plenty of them. Below me as well, other PL2 players and coaches. Blake Morris from Minchinbury is here. Both these two sides, speaking of Minchinbury, aren't playing Minchinbury in their next game, so Eastern Creek will be playing them on a Wednesday night. Actually, no, Oakville, forgive me, as their catch-up game. And then come the weekend, it'll be Eastern Creek's turn as they look to get revenge for their loss to them at the start of the year, which I know really bugged Matt Hederick, the coach of Eastern Creek. Will be looking to hit back, I'm sure. He won't want me to mention this, but Sebastian Lutkovsky was here during our Sunday night Phoenix League streams, which there were 2 games played and a bundle of goals scored. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, 7 plus 5. So we've got 13 goals that were scored in 180 minutes. It's almost a goal every 10. It's a fantastic night, but Sebastian Lutkovsky was actually doing a bit of ball boy duty as the ball was kicked out on this near side here, and he took a slip up the mud. But that wasn't caught on camera, and apparently I missed it by 2 seconds after I mentioned his name. So I know that he's going to be watching this back, and I'm probably going to get an angry text on Messenger, and we'll have a laugh about it together. He's a good guy, really willing to help out. As it's a big foul there. Could be the first yellow. The referee's calling over Scotty Young. Probably just going to be a warning. Still very, very early on in this game. But this is dangerous territory. We've seen free kicks cause defenders a whole lot of issue. Not necessarily goalkeepers, but defenders issue from this far out. Nicolas Sayer, I'm sure he's an avid watcher of the match of the rounds. He'll be looking at this and wondering, how can I avoid that happening? Mifsud is very capable of a deft delivery or a rampant shot on goal. It's the latter. Should be an easy save, and it's claimed with good technique by Sayer. And if his hands long, that goes slightly ajar to the right. Flicked on, attempted by Sohn, but he just couldn't sort of wrap his noggin around that. Put extra attention into finding this out for you today. Of course, your centre referee, Ernie Howarth, assistant referee, Darren Glover, assistant referee, Lachlan Baker, and 4th official, Dwayne Palmer. you guys for being here on your Saturday nights and helping us out to make sure that we have a perfectly officiated game. Mifsud, who's entrusted with keeping the ball in a dangerous area. They're going to have it back to Oakville. Long that goes by Timms, whose uncle is on the bench, Gareth. Sirkan's lost that out, but then Errol wins it back. Couldn't get out of his feet, and there was a chance at a 2v2 there. Nice inverted pass there. Sohn looking to find Adrauyo. Let's see how these two can combine. Two-striker partnership hasn't quite found a goal just yet, so that's hit the corner flag, and it will be, there's a throw or corner, I believe it should be a throw. Again, a corner, I should say, a dead ball moment from that far side, near that corner flag. Might be another one there, no, just a goal kick. Yet to have a real sort of shot on target that really tests the keeper just yet. We've had a couple of ones that have tested the technique, those are ones that you repeat 1,000 times over in training. Not one that's really had you worried just yet. Let's see who will be the first, as that's a really thumping header forward, but Adrauyo was actually going to be offside. Poor touch out of the feet there, though, by Chris Timms. Grants Eastern Creek in these wonderful yellow jerseys. A chance to whip a dangerous ball into the box. This is Liam Hamilton here, the 23-year-old, with 2 assists. Of course, a couple of goals to his name. One as well in the reserve grade game prior to this. After all that, they've given it away. Oakville survive. Long throw that is. Nicely won by Scotty Young. Not sure he knew exactly where that was going. Of course, I encourage you to leave all your live chats in the live chat box. I'll be watching along. Samuel Perrin says, let's go Oakville. Good to have you watching along, Sam. Errol misses that. Young quickly goes back to Ao, who then poorly clips his clearance wide, giving Oakville a chance to whip this perhaps in following the throw. Here's Chris Timms, who's made his way well up the pitch. Inside the 18-yard box, it's flicked back toward Mifsud, who's got time to turn and pick his pass. He looks for the cross-field switch towards Sirkan Errol. Sirkan, I should say, forgive me. Ao not too confident on that left foot there, but they've been able to retain possession, and forward they come. Nice flick on there. And forward come Eastern Creek, Kurt Elbro. That was a fantastic touch. Adrauyo goes back towards his captain. He then squares, asking Liam Hamilton to strive forward. They're going to win it back via this ricochet. Inverted run time for Liam Hamilton. Really nice tackle. In fact, it might even result in a chance. Sirkan is there. Scott Young is braver to it. The second ball is going to fall Errol's way. Now Wilkins is going to run in behind. Can he get between the two defenders? No, it's been cleared really nicely by Zedric Catley-Bond. It's a hyphenated last name, if you couldn't tell, between Catley and Bond. And now forward does come Jackson Death, whose little expletive there is quite humorous. It's clipped back towards the middle of the park. Scott Young is robust in his defensive duties and wins the free kick in the process. Wide that goes. Forward running opportunity time now for Ben Watson. He looks to clip in a dangerous ball, but it should be easy pickings for the goalkeeper, and that it is. Might have even been Kurt Elbro who clipped that in. Flicked on by Sean Levitt. Cleared by Lutkovsky, the one whose name starts with an S. That's Ben Watson, the left back who wears 10. Certainly creative. Levitt is there to destroy. Destroy he does. Errol, great use of the body and gets between two defenders again. Left-footed pass is snuffed out really nicely there by Catley-Bond. Forward comes the ball-playing defender himself. Clipped wide as Sohn dropped in to try and push his side forward. Nice little scuffle for the ball there, and as actually there could be a cautioning here for Errol. Just a word. Last time between these two, there was 8 goals. I will remind you, yet to have a moment like that just yet. Let's see if that changes following this free kick. It's just shy of the 18-yard box, but it was cleared before it could bounce. Mifsud from distance! Just over. But he was asking the question. Nick Sayer in no rush to take this. Another one of the goalkeeping contingent who wear a hat, even though it is pitch black without lights at the moment. You never know. You can never be too careful, you know. Long that goes. Dead up the line. It was missed by everyone the first time. Brian Sohn is there. Gets past Timms. Araujo back to goal. Luchkovsky, there was calls for a handball against him. And now, at 50-50 was won by Oakville, but in doing so, they concede a corner. Another corner. Will this one reap the rewards? Haven't really seen a goal from a corner, as in from the corner kick taker to the head of a player. We saw one last week, but that's been about it. In it comes. Will that change now? Ooh. Keating was there, trying to find himself 3 match-of-the-round goals in just one game and a bit. Mifsud, left-footed pass forward. Wilkins has got a lot of work to do to get past all these defenders here, although he's going to try and do it. And then Liam Hamilton tries to kill the Minchinbury supporters here, just below me and to the left. They're all A-OK, by the way. Quick reaction times, actually. Is Chris Timms. Mifsud. I know all about his danger. He's now fine. Logan Wilkins is doing his own role in dropping in, and then this shot from distance should be claimed easily. It is good technique there. That shot by Ben Barrett, looking to become probably the second youngest goal scorer of all time in the match of the rounds. Currently, David Enriques has that from Rivers and Schofields last year. Forward comes Chase Wynn. That's a brilliant one. In fact, it might have even been Deeth there, although it's been lost out. Keating outside the foot pass is absolutely exceptional, but that's an even better interception there by Sebastian Luchkovsky. That last name, you might be wondering, that's actually of Russian descent. His grandfather, of course, the grandfather of Dylan as well, on the left wing. Wonderful family happen to push this Oakville side along, presidents and secretaries and coaching and players. What an interception there by Dylan Luchkovsky. Speaking of them, probably saved them from conceding a goal there. Actually, that would have been whipped in. It's going to go out for a throw in favour of who? Mr. Glover? In favour of Eastern Creek. Longish throw. It's beaten Araujo, who then found the ricochet, giving Oakville the ball again. Chase Wynn will take this. Been told he's one of the more committed players in the comp, let alone the team. Turns up to training without issue every single time. Hard worker, and you have to be as a modern day fullback. Ooh, he did all the hard work there and gave it away. Ben Watson, a little silly there. This is going to be difficult to escape. Well, they're going to via a free kick. Kurt Elborough involved there. Great to see so many viewers watching along. Again, I'll apologise for the Facebook views, which have been quashed because of the music that you've heard in the background. Tried to out-talk it, but it didn't work. Mif's a big slide tackle in there. Luckily didn't connect too much, and the referee was happy to let it go. If you are watching on, by the way, you've probably been directed via a very, very late Facebook post, thanks to BDSFA GM Adam Fairley, telling you all to come along to the YouTube. So happy to have you all watching along here. Pick the brains at the top 2 in the PL2. Geez, that worked well. Handball called, nothing given though. Oh, it's been missed. That's a really silly moment at the back there by Lutkovsky, but his team have bailed him out there. Lots of work to do here for Brian Sohn. Ooh, what a wonderful back heel there, and what elbow right whip it in, and the goalkeeper and defender didn't communicate there, and they almost hurt each other as well. But a shake of the hands and the pat on the head means they're all okay, but they'll have another corner to defend. Oakville really feeling the burn down the wings. Eastern Creek Pioneer coming forward on the flanks quite often. They need to stop this multitude of corners coming in, because eventually it's going to lead to something. And it comes out swinging again towards the back stick. Oh, Ben Watson was there. Unfortunately, so was the car park fencing. Of course, plenty of you guys should be watching along. A lot of games cancelled today because of the terrible weather, and even walking up here. Any time I have to go onto grass is when I'm walking from the seats below me to this box. It's about 13 steps. I slipped on about 6 of them, so it is terrible, as a handball is going to be called there and play slowed down by Dylan Lutkovsky. I have to take that back, and he does so. Hope to reschedule your games probably on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, most likely Wednesday for the Deploy Premier League competitions. Nicely won there by Win. So in to defend. A reminder as well, if you're watching along, don't forget to send in those goals that you film, those goal of the week contenders. Oh, Brian Sohn looks to find his own. Oh. From the angle I had, that was millimetres. I think he's more frustrated with himself than anything there. Looking to fire one into the back of the net. Not to be this time. Word of warning as well, I'm also recovering from my own sort of laryngitis thing, whatever you want to call it. Something that's not quite COVID, but equally as annoying. So if my voice decides to go to the barbershop halfway through here, I'm apologising in advance. Azaha on the goal kick. Really, really well. Yeah, one. Lutkovsky and Sohn in a foot race. And he had the steps on him. And he won it, did Sebastian. Oh, one with back to goal. Missed. That's a really poor moment at the back. And now Brian Sohn outside of the foot. Got no power behind it. Keeper still spilled it though. It's been cleared for a throw-in. Has to find a way to turn away from his man. He finds a ball back into the box. Somehow Mifsud has to clear. It's come off the shoulder there of Sean Levitt, who I said would be the more advanced position-wise of the two screeners. His involvement there grants Oakville just a goal kick. Just while we're waiting for this to be taken, as I sit up here in the commentary box, it seems that the spider webs growing around the windows are getting bigger as it gets colder, which is not something I like, because I've not seen a spider here, not once, which means they're somewhere. And I'm wondering where, because I don't like them, and I don't want to commentate a goal and there's all of a sudden something jumps at me. I'll keep you updated on the spider situation. Sebastian Lutkovsky over this free kick. It's in towards around the penalty spot, but very left of where the actual spot is. Miffs it back to goal. Once again, he turns on the left foot now. Probably more difficult for him. He's going down. That'll be consecutive free kicks. This one, obviously, in a far greater position for a shot on goal. And Nicholas Sayer in his Eastern Creek defence, especially his wall, are going to have to do a lot of work here. Standing over it, though, number 15, Serkan Errol. Late arrival before the game. Will he arrive on the score sheet early? He goes low in the deflection. Oh, great reflexes by Nicholas Sayer. And he had to use all of his 6-foot frame to get down there, change direction, pivot quickly, and that he did. And he's kept his side from going down by a goal. Full credit to him. Really nicely done. Keating in the middle of the park. Sohn is there. 1-2 between those two. Big shoulder to shoulder. Might be called as a free kick. It's not. I like that. As long as it stays consistent. Nikola Rusutovic, of course, from the Minchinbury captain himself. Yes, I've seen your comments. I'll pass it on when the time's appropriate. Ball's up in the air. Those in yellow come away with it. First time, not the second. Oh, big slide tackle in there from behind. Just a simple hug and a kiss, and away we go again. I like to see that. Pushing the back was called there, but nothing has been given. Again, battle of who's braver to get their head to the ball. It's still bouncing, and again they come together. Thankfully everyone's okay. Long shot attempted. Oh, it's completely scuffed. It might turn into the greatest pass of all time. Whipped into a dangerous area, flicked up by the goalkeeper, and flicked away, and then missed by Dylan. And Lukowski now tries to backheel his way past his oppressor, and that being Scott Young, who comes away with it now. Brian Sohn dropping deep again. They don't need a 10 because he does it. Crossfield switch, looking for Elbright. He's almost perfect. And now he'll come away with it after Chase Wynn couldn't keep it under control, though it was very difficult forward. He comes now, and then Errol, poor pass. Take that throw in further back, please, son. Says Ernie, centre referee. Now forward they come down that flank. It's causing all sorts of problems, and now should be whipped into a dangerous area. It's beaten everybody, including the goalkeeper, but including those trying to direct it back towards that red and black tinged net. Not to be this time, though. Timms to throw long. Finds Dylan Lukowski, but he unfortunately misses the flick on. Logan Wilkins was there, the 22-year-old. His second year at the club. Couldn't stop that clearance from coming in, but in doing so, they've put enough pressure on them to win a throw here. Oh, very long that goes. And again, wondering who can get their head to the ball first. Been a bit of that in this first half. Push towards the last 9 minutes of normal time. Can't imagine too much will be added on as the referee looks to his own watch. Back to goal, Errol. He's then been manhandled to the ground by Mikeo. Probably too far out for a significant strike on goal, but we'll see this time. Perhaps now the dead ball. It's been more free kicks for Oakville, more corners for Eastern Creek. perhaps now we'll see. There is a bit of space at that back post, it seems, but I won't say it too loud. I want to see a goal here. That wall creeps forward a little bit. Keating being spoken to. Scott Young in it as well. Back they come. Sayer just dashes across his net to check. Mifsud whips it in towards that back stick and then clear but wayward. And now that's a bit more convincing. Still quite close to the edge of the box. Ooh, clash of heads there. Could have been really, really dangerous. And Scott Young has gone down clutching his face. I'm not sure who's actually got the yellow card there. Someone has. Scott Young's come out the worst of it. Play finally about to be resumed. It's Ayo's right. Keating's there. Lets it bounce though, perhaps unwise to do so. In fact, he's proven me right for once. Very, very long throw. Oh! Mifsud goes down in a heap. Hopefully just to convince the referee of giving a free kick. But this is happening quite a lot in this game. I'm not necessarily a fan of it from a safety perspective. Not that it's something that needs to be changed. It's just how the game is going. But Mifsud is asking for some attention. I do have a physio here. Happy to help out today. Good time to mention now the man on the ground, Yannick Mifsud, as I mentioned, is a friend of mine, but he's also the major sponsor of Oakville. He runs a business called Shred Fitness. Been there once myself, couldn't handle it, didn't go back. The entire pre-season, whilst they were 13 metres underwater, it's actually done, as well as some rehab work here and there. And when it does get rained out on Monday nights, they go there. It's in the heart of Blacktown, that one. Competes in it himself, does Yannick. And that moment there was not a moment of where he could have shown more strength. It was just an awkward way he came off the ball. Thankfully, back to his feet, back in the middle of the park. Of course, watching along and you have a home game in the match of the round, please do send in your sponsors and we can flash them across the banner at pre-game, full-time, half-time. I can chat about them like this as well. Now, perhaps Eastern Creek, if they're quick to it, as is Araujo. But that foot race he's had a couple of times now with Sebastian Lutkovski's not really giving a clear winner. And it's the man in purple who comes away with it, but in doing so concedes a corner. Deja vu, but perhaps this time the outcome will be a little different. Let's see. Again, it'll be out swinging by Kurt Elbra. In there, Keating. In there, Sean Levitt. Watson, in it comes towards the back stick. Watson was there. Great save by the keeper. Watson then. No. Wants to be this time. And perhaps that was the first real opportunity. And Eastern Creek finally smelling blood. They do play quickly to Oakville. Mifsud is there. Hutch inside. He gets past 1, 2, but not the third. And he goes down in a heap. Coming off worse from that tackle. Big slide tackle in from behind, but it's been fair. Lutkovski had 3 around him, was forced to clear it. Did well, but he's not happy with how his team reacted to losing the ball in their own defensive third. Have a lot of work to do here. Can't be offside from a throw, and of course, Araujo is keen to that. Keating was there. Didn't get his shot off, though. Danger has not been cleared, though. And then maybe, perhaps, Levitt. Still Sean Levitt. Wide he goes. Lots of work for Kurt Elborough to do. 26 being chased by 22. He can't keep it in. pressure there. Good chase by Chase Wynn. Funny enough, I actually didn't plan that. It's just how it came. Chuckle to myself. Mifsud has to be really careful here. Does not want to lose it there. This game nowhere near as open as the first time these two played in that 8-goal thriller. This one is going to be separated by just the one, it seems, but plenty of time at half-time for that still to change. Speaking of half-time, not too far away from that break. A reminder, if you're watching along from inside the stadium, the canteen will close at the end of that 15-minute break. Make sure you go across there. Will that be another corner to defend? It is. It's probably the 10th or 11th one now. Every single purple shirt back defending, and almost all of them inside the box, situated in there as well. Only two that are back are Zedric Catley-Bond and Scott Young. Not that they have to defend anything, really. Elborough will be whipping in. Keating there, Sean Levitt there, Watson there, Sohn there, Arroyo there. And it comes flat this time. Is it cleared? It looks to be now. It's missed then again. Who has the ball? It's actually going to be Mifsud now, who has all the work in the world to do. He's been taken out quite heinously there. And that'll be a yellow card, certainly. Referee calling for things to be calm. Yellow card was dished out. A truly obvious example of a professional foul. And the right punishment was served, in my humble opinion. Actually, probably the right decision to do in terms of taking out Yannick. Let's stop that counter-attack by all means. Lutkovski with a very, very deep free kick. Probably won't be challenging the goalkeeper here. It's cleared initially by Eastern Creek, and now Keating looking to go from one side of the pitch to the other. He's been bodied off the ball by two Oakville players there. Mifsud now goes across him looking for Logan Wilk. It's cleared really nicely by Zedric Catley-Bond. Mifsud again. He's then tackled again, wins a free kick again. That must be at least the 5th he's won so far. And I can promise you, even at professional level, you take out a player too many times, it can really take a toll. Not only in the game, as we're seeing here, by him struggling off the ball, but over time. I'm hoping that one day, in fact, I think he's been yellow carded for dissent. Not quite sure, though. I think he is. Yes, so Mifsud now on a yellow as well. The yellow card's coming out thick and fast. Might be the coach as well. That's Danny now, being talked to, or perhaps he's doing the talking. Not quite sure. Either way, we are into borrowed time in this first half. One of the only ones ever that will go into half-time without a goal being scored yet. Although this, the ultimate opportunity for those things to change. Lutkovski is watching the ball he's about to whip in, get pushed back. Inch by inch, every inch helps. He'll now bring it forward himself. Cheeky move there. Big moment defensively. This will change half-time team talks for the better and the worse for both sides. Lutkovski on it. In it comes. Really nice looking ball. Lots of work to do in clearing this. Although Errol did it himself by not directing it towards goal. This might be the last action of the first half. So they need to make the most of it. Do Oakville. Up again. That ball is just clashing of heads waiting to happen. Errol thought about the ridiculous. Wilkins was there. Oh, couldn't get the flick on towards goal. It just bounced out of his way at the last moment. And this might just do it for the half. I think the referee has the whistle to his lips. Perhaps this will be it. Throw in. Play on we go. Here is Liam Hamilton. Maybe Eastern Creek will get their noses in front come the halfway whistle. Miscommunication there, and they failed to clear the ball. Araujo, great pass, flicked on. Keating, who's come central. Keating! Ah, he's done it! A sensational goal by Braden Keating. The 8 came central and found himself with another goal to his name. He was given too much space. And if you watched him, Oakville, in that first match of the round of the season, you would know not to give him that much because he's a genius finisher. But this time we've learned that he can thunder power it from that far out. And right on half time, he takes the applause and the goal music. And I said this would change team talks, and that it does. They just couldn't clear it. They didn't communicate here, did Dylan Lutkovski or Chris Timms. And in losing that ball there, they switched off for just a second, perhaps a little fatigued. And now their momentum, their flow, as Mifsud wins another free kick and a yellow ticket being given away to Araujo there. Finds himself in the book, but finds his side though, Araujo, ahead thanks to a moment of sheer genius, but also a moment of sheer brute power by Braden Keating, 25-year-old. 2 goals in that match of the round, make it 3 goals in 2.5 match of the round games. 7 goals in total all season, make that 8 now, and 5 assists to go with it. And with only, let me check, this being their 8th game of the season, it's almost a goal and a half every time. Although perhaps the last chance, no, the free kick was taken, and the halftime whistle was blown as the ball was in the air. Halftime, everything changes now. Team talks change, mentalities change, substitutions change. Lots of work for both coaches to do now. In fact, Matt Hederick probably would have been wondering, how can I make sure that my side don't concede something early? Well, now he'll be doubly hoping that with his side now in the lead. An absolute thunderbolt by Braden Keating in the 8 jersey, who came central. He's on the wing. Scored a fantastic goal to put his side in the lead. We're going to take about a 10 to 12 minute break. Don't go anywhere. This game just got even more interesting in the 1v2 in the Deploy PL2. See you soon. Yeah, well, can you smell them? Seriously, if that...
Yeah, it's hot.
I don't know why. Yeah, look, it's smoking off. This thing...
Yeah, no, turn it off.
Yeah, no thank you. That's scary.
See, BBC.
Yeah. Alright, whenever you're ready.
Oh, wait.
Ready to go? Welcome back to the second half here of our Deploy PL2 match between your current side in the lead, Eastern Creek, and the at-home Oakville United. The Ravens will need to recover here. They conceded a goal very late on into that first half. I have two things to say before we start. First things first, and Mr. Rositovic, this is for you as well in particular, but the lens has been affected, the internals of the camera actually has been affected by the weather and humidity today. And then following on from that as well, I've spent the entire first half raving about how Oakville beat Eastern Creek 5-3. It's actually the other way around. So the most important of things that I had to look at in my preparation for today, I literally got it the wrong way around. My most sincere of apologies as Brian Sohn goes down under that challenge there by Ben Barrett. But yes, so my apologies. So the ones looking for revenge will be the ones who are actually behind in this game. Eastern Creek have done one over their opposition, and I'll be looking to continue with this performance currently and make it 2 from 2. Let's get back to the happenings of this second half. Thanks for pointing out that mistake, by the way, of all things to get wrong. Looks to be no personnel changes, but I will inform you if I notice anything. A couple of big calls there by Oakville fans and officials watching along. The other yellow card is dished out again, this time to Liam Hamilton, I think, who actually won the free kick. Not happy with the response he gave the referee, hence the yellow ticket for him. Plenty of Oakville free kicks came in from that side of the pitch. That kind of position as well. Well, Eastern Creek reverse the trend and perhaps find something from this one very early on. It's a bit too shallow to be really directed towards goal first time. It's cleared a little haphazardly, and I'll have to continue defending. And it comes towards the danger area. It should be an easy claim if he almost let it bounce over him. It has a ha, but he did well to hold on to it. Won by Liam Hamilton, who has to spend the rest of the game as a fullback with a yellow to his name. Mifsud coming forward. He won 7 fouls in that first half, if my counting serves me correctly. Turns one way, twists the other. In his back is the captain, Scott Young. He's beaten him for pace here, then cuts back again. He's fortuitously kept it to his feet. And then finally offloads a Chase Wynn. Scuffed ball into the box. Might find Errol though on the turn! Straight into the hands of the grateful goalkeeper. Trying to recreate the brilliance from the same kind of position as Braden Keating did. So can Errol. Not to be this time though. On that goes. Wilkins looks to get the ball on the ground, flicked on by the use of his own forehead. And a corner. Looks to be that if you're on the left-hand side, or you're defending on the left-hand side, you're going to get corners in your favour. If you're defending on the right-hand side, you get free kicks in your favour. Oakville, with one of the only free corners I can remember them having. This will also be out-swinging. Perhaps they'll also change the trend around and get one in. Towards the front post, Errol! Oh! Bit of a head and hands moment there as the goal kick is the decision from that. It certainly found him. He was brave in getting there first. It was fizzed in that front post. Couldn't direct it towards goal. Big moment there, of course. 1-0 down they are. Goal kick taken. One there by Dylan Lutkovsky. Flicked over pass. That's nice direction, right? A little bit too wide for a first-time strike. Perhaps Wilkins will find Errol again, looking to find his goal. And he just kind of can't direct it towards the back of the net at the moment. Cleared emphatically, and that's not coming back. One bounce off the roof, and that's long gone. Oh, was there a handball there? No, there wasn't. No appeals whatsoever from either side. Mikeo then finds his right back. Hamilton who clears. It's gone between two heads there. Araujo and Matt Ryan. Scott Young finds his feet after initially losing them wide by his screen partner, asking a lot of Elborough, who does a lot to get there. Square again. Liam Hamilton is capable of beating a man. Throwing in his favour, very long throw. Sohn, who got the assist for Keating. He's been so good at bringing other players into the game. Wins a corner. Will this be decisive? No rush to take this whatsoever. I'll tell you though, Oakville formed in 1974, this great club. They play out at Colby Park in McGrath Hill. If you are an avid watcher of the Match of the Round, you'll know what I like to do when I mention a club history, but I will let this corner come in first. It'll be in-swinging this time. Elborough towards the back stick. Oh, Watson was there. He's clearly the target. Cleared, but not really too far from goal. And then Young wasn't even close. But yes, established 1974. So what does that mean? It means I tell you about some things that were happening in 74. First of all, 461 Ocean Boulevard by Eric Clapton was released. Sheer Heart Attack by Queen was also another album that came out that year. In terms of one-off songs. Game by You by The Spinners. Locomotion by the Grand Funk Railroad, and Waterloo by ABBA. If that rings a bell as to what time period Oakville were formed, I'm sure that's going to help you. As Sohn now tries to remind you why Eastern Creek are in the lead. Only nice clearance. Mifsud is there, drops deep to receive, bounce off his head. He's then taken out for the 8th time. This is becoming quite ridiculous how often he's going down. I don't want to see any injuries here. Obviously, he was the danger man the last time these guys played, which was, of course, won by Eastern Creek. And they've identified him as one to stop. Stop they have. Flicked on there. Wilkins is clicker, then he's a presser, but it's the one in yellow who comes away with it. Goal kick the decision. If you still need more reminding of what year 74 was, a bit of a change of tone. I'll talk about movies now. Actually, a rather large change of tone. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was released that year. The Godfather Part 2. And Murder on the Orient Express to round out a theme of movie murder in the last 15 seconds. Araujo does well to get past one. Brave defending and then clear by Lutkovsky. Free kick called up here. Actually, no, it was offside. It's one of the first ones of the game, if not the first. Final thing about 74, the European Cup final 74 was between Bayern and Atletico Madrid, which ended after 120 minutes, one apiece. They then played a replay 2 days later. Bayern won 4-0. It was also the time of the 74 World Cup, which West Germany won over the Dutch at the Olympiastadion in Munich. Also the first time Australia went to World Cup that year, as now a goal kick for Oakville. Back to today's football, shall we? On the other hand, established the year before Eastern Creek, but playing in plenty of other leagues prior to this. Just 1 year before everything I mentioned, which will make them 50 very, very soon. That being next year. 49 they sit on. Chase win here. Good chest control there Jackson Deeth has to go central, but they've lost the ball in a dangerous area. They come away with it in a good area though, and then they've lost it again. Araujo, strong, low centre of gravity there, really coming to the fore. Again, aerial battles here, an offside being called there. Lutkovsky, who's taken pretty much every free kick. This is right on the halfway line, this one. Perhaps a change in fortune. Lutkovsky. It's come to his brother. He's then lost the ball. Forward comes the man with the only goal of the game to his name, Braden Keating. Central he runs. That's how he found success at the end of that first half. Forward comes the captain. Finds the young Araujo. Wide he goes, asking a lot of Kurt Elbra to keep it in. Keep it in he will, though. Not got easy men to get past here, although he's done so well. And then he's done quite poorly to lose it there. They need to just clear their lines. Scott Young from distance, and then straight into the hands of Azahar. It's not his greatest clearance out of the hands, but it will find the distance it needs. Aerial battles again, aerial ping pong as I tend to call it. Win again. Mifsud, flick on. Logan Wilkins goes down. Free kick. Lutkovsky, his last free kick was about 7 metres further back of where this one is. I don't think that makes it any more of a chance to really hit it at goal. Hit it towards goal he does. Maybe the flick will be dangerous. Not this time. Cleared by Eastern Creek and their lovely away kits, I will say. Liam Hamilton there. Oh, what a ball. Whether it was intentional or not, forward comes Ben Watson. First time we've really seen him in advanced positions besides from set pieces. Araujo looks to flick it on. He didn't get the touch, but the pass is perfect. 2 perfect passes in a row there. Perhaps this one will be the one that gets him a second goal. Straight at the keeper. Long that goes. That's a better kick. One quite high. Serge Errol is there. Big side tackle. He's actually won the ball. It's going to stay in. Watson does well. Scotty Young, left-footed square pass. Didn't know he had that much time. Did Levitt. This could be a big challenge in here. Really nicely done there by young Benny Barrett. Over the top, through ball attempted. Won by those in yellow. Elbra here on the near side. Be great to see him close to the camera now. Levitt there, right for the pass out wide. It's asking a lot of Hamilton to keep it in. That he does, though. And forward he comes. Look at the pace he's got, but unfortunately uses that pace to run into touch. A win for Eastern Creek in this 6-pointer would put them ahead of today's opposition by 3 points. They've averaged 1.86 points per game compared to Oakville's 2.17, which would say that Oakville's won more points per game, if that was a bit too complex for just the one sentence. Of course, they played one less game, but on the same amount of points, they got a better goal difference too. Prior to this game, 19 goals scored, 19 conceded. 19 also for Eastern Creek, but 2 more conceded. Goal difference of 10 and 8, 10 in favour of Oakville, but this will change it. This will actually make it 9 on goal difference each if it stays at 1-0 in favour of those in yellow. That also will put them 3 points ahead of their opposition, but they will still have the game to catch up, of course, on Wednesday against Minchinbury. Long ball by Mifsud. Wilkins is there, he's brave. He might find the ricocheted ball. He is going to keep this in. He needs some support behind him. That he finally gets. On the turn there is Dylan Lutkovsky, and back he goes. And really that danger of numerical advantage is gone. Although, will they try and make something here? Errol looks to try and clip it over the top. Didn't happen the way he wanted. It's just not happening for him at the moment. I'm looking to see more from him. Just keep it simple. Sure, the coach would be telling him. Played back. Mikeo comes forward here, right for the pass out wide. It was snuffed out, but no need to be because it wasn't going anywhere. And that'll be a throw in on Darren Glover's side. Second goal for Eastern Creek, I think, would win them this game. Sort of lock up those 3 points in a safe chest, throw away the key. Never even invent a key in the first place. Oh, what a nice deft touch there. But really smart defending. And Oakville clear, and perhaps you could say with that many pushback, survive that moment. They cannot afford to concede a second one. Attempted a penetrating pass forward from the furthest player back on the pitch, not in goal. Not to be this time though. No substitutes really warming up just yet. I can see Kurt Machut on the right hand side of me, who is on the bench, debuts on the bench for this game. Started in the match of the round, not sure why, perhaps injury issues. Played in midweek issues. Oh, Keating's giving it away. Oh, Wilkins is quick. He's going to get there first. Wilkins past the keeper. Wilkins! Oh! A sensational miss. And I'll say it again. If you're an avid watcher of the match of the round, you know that right-hand side of the pitch is cursed. And it's raised its ugly head again. And if you're an Oakville fan, turn away in horror. Logan Wilkins would have found the goal that put his goal tally this season into double figures. And in front of the big audience, he couldn't do it. Still a third of the game still to go. Mathematicians, that means we've played 60 minutes. But a horrible miss. And that should be 1-1. Oh, miscommunication at the back. And maybe they'll hit back straight away. Eastern Creek looking to cement themselves as first in the comp. And now Sohn! No, not to be this time. Couple of looks from the Eastern Creek crew, the board members sitting below me. You can hear everything that I'm saying with this open window in front of me, and they're loving what they're saying from their side so far. Especially happy with the miss that Oakville just had. I mentioned in my pre-match spiel, as I tend to call it, that this was a 6-pointer, which means that you've got two teams on similar points. Making sure that they don't win 3 and making sure that you win 3 is what's classed in football as a 6-pointer. I'm going to stop the 6-pointer conversation as Mifsud makes his way down the right-hand side. He whips it into a dangerous area. Now, maybe, no, that would have found the side netting. If not claimed by the keeper, he's then spilt it, and it will stay in play, and it would be cleared now, surely. Really brave defensive work there. Ben Watson, he's just been forced to clear it out. It's a player down, and it's the goal scorer himself, Braden Keating, and it might force the hand of Matt Hederick. Subs flag is raised. There is no physio for those in yellow. They're just going to do it themselves. He's being helped to the bench by Chris Timms. It's a really nice show of sportsmanship there. Brian Sohn helping out as well. Coming on though, one of 3 players. It looks like Kurt Machut to me, someone I've covered plenty of times. Be looking for an 18 jersey on the 28-year-old. And defender by trade. Never smart to really change your defensive shape from a defensive set piece, but they were forced to this time. Mifsud lost the ball. Cleared out and over the fence again. Smart. Snarky but smart, that's for sure. Doesn't matter how hard you clear it. Clearance is a clearance. If it goes into the Nepean district or it just finds the inside of the fence. cleared by Machut, his first involvement in the game. It stayed towards the middle of the pitch, though. It was still around that 18-yard box, that dangerous area. It's bouncing weirdly, which is always scary for those in defence. Handball might jump up. Little cheeky push, but tempers are kept under control, which I hope stays that way as this game draws closer to the critical moments. Machut straight onto the pitch, straight into the ear of the referee. Play might finally resume now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players back across that defensive line. Got to win is the call. Got to win they do. Awkward moment there, but Scotty Young's come away with it. Machut, who's more comfortable in these left side defensive positions, I would say. Mifsud loses it out there after a cheeky attempt at a way to get around his man. Free kick won by Oakville to the dismay and frustration of their opposition. A little stop-start this fixture, to be perfectly honest, as we draw past, I reckon, 30 free kicks, to be honest. Luke Koski takes, that's a really dangerous looking ball. Wilkins is there, I believe. Shot on goal, surely. Flicked back, and now it's been cleared. Oh, penalty! Oh, Eastern Creek are really not happy with this. It's Serkan Errol who went down clutching his right ankle, and he's won it. And the referee took a moment to hesitate and think about it, perhaps a look at his AR, and has pointed straight to the spot. This, a huge moment in the game. In the race for the Premier's plate as well, don't forget. There was a missed open goal opportunity on the weak foot, actually no, on the stronger foot of Logan Wilkins. It's not going to be him who takes the penalty, it's the man wearing 10. It's Yannick Mifsud, 4 goals, 5+ assists. Not actually sure exactly how many he's got. Yannick looking to make himself a goal scorer. Put his side back on level terms, back to where we started at the first whistle. Mifsud against Sayer. Huge penalty here. It's Mifsud, goes to the keeper's right, finishes absolutely wonderfully. Make that 5 goals and 5 assists to his name. Sayer clears in frustration, and Eastern Creek will be wondering, did we deserve to be behind? It looks like Serkan Errol was taken out. Penalty was given. Goal for Oakville now puts us back into what should be a wickedly exciting last 25 minutes. Apologies if you saw on the right hand side there hasn't been a flare go off next door at Wanderers. NPL 2 side are playing there now. It's not one of ours, nothing to worry about if you're watching along. That's all dealt with now. Play resumed. Wilkins there. Who will have the momentum? Will it shift now in favour of Oakville? They were probably pushing a little harder in those last 5 minutes. Had a bit of the territory in their favour. They've got the goal they so desperately wanted. And perhaps after that missed opportunity, which was a really good show of determination by Logan Wilkins, perhaps now they deserve that equaliser. An equaliser they indeed do have. Every pass now, every shot on goal has to be accurate. It's early on in the season, yes, but as we start to play teams you've already played once, you need to do the double and the triple over your opposition. Now that's taken a deflection, and it's going to be a corner. Eastern Creek had a plethora of corners in that first half. Not so many in this second. Perhaps now this will be the one that changes things around. Everybody back for Oakville. Of course, a draw would probably be a result that they're content with. Perhaps even okay with. Well, I mean, technically that's what content sort of means in this context, but I don't think they would have said no to it at the start of the game. Oh, it's missed 2 and 3 players on the follow-up now. That volley goes over. Everybody in a bit more of a rush to take their goal kicks now. Missed everybody. Something I've said a couple times in this game. Now Eastern Creek look to barge their way forward down that far side of the pitch. Oakville, through their blue-booted Matt Ryan, win that back. 25-year-old, first year back in the side. Previously at Lowland Wanderers prior to this. Ooh, but Schut does really well. Flicked on there, attempted. Not to be this time, shoulder to shoulder there. And that's going to take a deflection off his own man. And it will stay in just, and now finally, we might have some definitive possession. Oh, great turn by Sohn. Oh, well over. Looks like the actual condensation in the internals of the camera by the stream that I watch along to is actually getting better as the minutes pass. Second apology to you guys watching along, sorry that that's there, but it is what it is on a day like today. Glad it's all cleared up in terms of what the players have to deal with right now. Not too cold, probably perfect weather for football actually, here on this wonderful place. Turn right off of Knox Road, head up Eastern Road, just inside the boundaries of what is actually Rudy Hill. You find a McDonald's, now a Taco Bell, a free space, and then Blacktown Football Park. Oh, I forgot about the 7-Eleven. That comes first. Logan Wilkins might find the loose ball here. There's an option behind him. Logan Wilkins goes himself on the stronger left foot. Oh, what a save. Not by the goalkeeper, but by the defender there. An imperative touch. And it stops Nick Sayer, probably from seeing consecutive goals hit the back of his net. That was an absolutely crucial moment defensively there. Front post marked, back post marked. In swinging corner. Well, Nick Sayer has to claims really well. Well done to the young 23-year-old. You can see that Oakville have deployed their captain Sebastian Lutkovsky as a sort of sweeping, really deep-lying centre-back in moments like that, embracing the fact that they are going to lose some flick-on battles. Advantage played there. Machut has come into left-back here. His delivery is fantastic. That moment was blocked off before it could become dangerous, though. Cleared comprehensively there by Matt Ryan. Machut doesn't at all look to be injured. Looks to be running around briskly and freely, I should say. Elborough has a lot of work to do. He's won the free kick. Shake your hands, and away we go. This will be Machut's ball now. Set piece specialist himself. Players warming up on the far side there for Oakville. It's played along the ground, and it's found no one in a yellow shirt. Arroyo beats his man, Matt Ryan, really well. Arroyo into the box. Pivotal clearance again there. Two moments defensively that have absolutely saved their respective sides. This game is waiting for a moment. Ooh, that's fed wide. Elborough, who is left-footed, holds it up, one touch into the box, and now maybe, he's kicked it the wrong way, Brian Sohn. Luckily, no clash of heads there as that was competed for in the air. Oakville need to be strong in defence. Strong they are. Goal kick given. As the mist from that flare that went off on our right-hand side has trickled its way from Wanderers to us. Oh, ball over the top. This could be dangerous. It's a foot race between the keeper and the striker. The keeper would have put your house on him getting there first, and that he did. Long that goes. It's a really clever pass. 3-on-2 had to be done, to be honest. That's quite smart, actually, by Zedric Catley-Bond, and he really had to do that. I don't know if you could see the rest of the pitch. Probably should have been a yellow card, to be honest, because he certainly stopped Oakville from coming forward, and they had the numerical advantage. They really, really did. Logan Wilkins is here to test the goalkeeper of the wall. Perhaps what will it be? Nick Say not really set. He goes for glory. Finds the car park fencing. I've got a feeling that if Jackson Death had stayed down there off at the back of winning that free kick, he might have landed a yellow card for the oppressor of the foul. Not to be this time. This game searching for a hero. Searching for someone to step up and make it theirs. 15 to go. 3 points to be won. Take 3 off your opposition, give 3 to yourself. Sort of like a reverse Robin Hood in this sort of way. Not sure why that's come to the forefront of my mind, but it has, as Elborough loses out there, cleared for the outside of the right boot of Chase Wynn. And this might find the penalty winner in a good space. Oh, a lucky flick off the head there. Now Wilkins concedes a free kick. This game probably getting close to a moment where there's a bit of push and shove, I'd say. Emotions are running high. Tempers hopefully not flaring, excuse the pun. Elborough free on the left if they can find him. They go to the opposite side of him. Watson is there. This looks like something from the training ground. That'll be a training ground save for Azaha. Long he goes. It's 2v4 at the back. 4 come out on top initially. Here is Jacko Death. Loves to make an inverted one. Haven't seen it too much in this game. That pass looking to curl into one of his own and didn't. Young 17-year-old Benny Barrett here. Past one. Make sure of youthfulness and agility there. Turns away from goal. Doesn't want to come too far forward. Here's Jackson Death making that inverted one. What a tackle by Kirk Mature. There's a tackle of the week contender right there. I don't currently run that series, not as it exists, but I might have to start it just for a moment like that. Great touch out of the feet by Araujo, but he had a clearer run to the ball, did Matty Ryan. It's a really, really, really positive moment there by both sides. Willing to commit numbers forward, go forward, go for glory. Don't want this to end in a draw. I don't think we've had a draw all season, have we? Correct me if I'm wrong. Lachlan Fitzpatrick says Oakville on top. Well, currently not, but that could all change. 15 left to do so. Fatigue will start to set in soon. That's clipped into the box. Keeper doesn't come, and then, oh! Watson was there. It found him perhaps when he wasn't quite expecting it. Drop is the call. Push forward is the call. You can guess who's saying both of those phrases, which lips they're coming from. There will be a change. Off goes Ben Watson. We're looking for a 23 or a 35. 23 will be Chris Lucas, recovering from round 1, match of the round, fractured heel. It's actually going to be the 35, Daniel Ayo, brother of Mick Ayo. Debuted on the bench, 2 Ayos onto the pitch, 2 Lutkovskis. 1 Death, but 2 for Quakers Tigers. Plenty of battles and relationships here. Oakville ball. Who's going to have the decisive moment? I've noticed that the front 3, which has become Wilkins, Death, and Errol, have stayed predominantly forward, and the midfielders are really sitting back now. Yannick Mifsud has to be really careful. He's on a yellow, conceding that free kick there. That's probably his last warning. Probably his last warning. Michael Ayo, 31-year-old, standing over the ball. This is probably a pile-driving shot. Oh, looked to find Sean Levitt. He got forward as he has all game. And this time he couldn't direct that towards goal. How crucial will that missed opportunity be? Oh, one back. That was a poor goal kick. Lukowski in a foot race. He'll lose this one out. Now, what's he going to do? Goes back, plays it safe. That's Liam Hamilton in far more advanced positions now with Mick Ayo and his brother now sitting back. Of course, Daniel Ayo as well. Meaning that the striker right mid and right back, Liam Hamilton, we've got a goal in the reserve grade game. He will be desperate to find one in the first grade game too. Just 23 years old. Errol wins throw in. Elborough will have to concede that this is not his ball. Leaves it for Chase Wynn. Communication has been a strong point for both sides. You can really hear them urging each other on. That's not the greatest moment as they try and test the aerial ability of AO. Handball shouts from players. Just going to be a goal kick. 80th minute, according to the stream I'm watching, which is about 3 seconds behind what's actually happening. Just ticked on by then, which means we've got around 9 minutes to go. Not too many stoppages, more than the first half certainly. There'll be only 1 or 2 added on minutes. Every single minute added on critical in this season's title charge. There could be a chance to flick that on. No, didn't find him. Was he offside, Logan Wilkins? No, referee says let's go. Errol back to Wilkins. The 9 and 15 combining there. Oh, he's just missed out on the man who won the penalty. Whether that was his miscontrol or the directional movement of the pass, I'm not to know. Araujo back to goal. Looks to square it to Levitt. A really nice turn there by Barrett. Mifsud, the two screeners for Oakville. Obviously with two very different positional roles. Whose free kick is this going to be? Because if it's Mifsud who's conceded it, he might have to walk. Probably intelligently staying down to suggest that it was a 50-50 battle. Physios are being called over. And perhaps he's wondering if he had have stayed up. The referee, he would have considered the yellow card, which would have been his second. The referee is still sitting right there, though. Is the yellow card going to come out here? Are we going to see a red card? Another twist in the tail of this fascinating game, if that is to be the case. Mifsud staying down. Hopefully he's all right. Scott Young chatting to his coach. Those two, as we know from our Blacktown Football Hour podcast, get along very well, do a lot of work off the pitch, coach and captain. Referee is still standing there. Is there going to be a second yellow card here? I don't know. There is the red card in his hand. He's off. Mifsud off. From goal scorer and hero to equalise this game, he's going to be shown the early bath. Luckily for him and his side, not long, but I mentioned it. I said the referee's hanging around here, kind of like the fog from the flare. And Mifsud, whether he's injured or not, and trying to prove his case, is being shown that gate. He's off. His night is over. Hopefully, in all seriousness, he's okay. But his side now, defensively, they need to set up a little differently now. They've lost one of theirs in the middle. Met by thunderous applause by Eastern Creek fans. They think he's been, I would say, probably annoying to play against. Giving away his fair share, won his fair share. And he's also won the most yellow cards as well. Long that goes by Mikeo, really on the edge of the 18-yard box there. Oakville back in numbers, and you can see less opportunity and willingness to push players forward. Perhaps now the draw becomes the result they're going to fight for. 3 minutes almost were lost there with Mifsud down. Let's see what happens. Whatever happens in this game, be sure to watch the Blacktown Football Hour podcast for post-match interviews with players and coaches from both sides. No matter what happens, even if it stays like this, it's going to be interesting. Sayer claims and picks that up. Long and to his left. Not going to find anyone in yellow though, not this time. Oakville are being pressed back in their own defensive third though. Perhaps this is what they wanted from that long ball. Little amounts of time left. Oakville trying to survive now. Levitt there. Oh, and then from distance zone. Oh, the less said about that, the better. In fact, I might even... No, it's going out for a goal kick. Next week's match of the round back here at Blacktown Football Park, 7 p.m. Don't forget, it's on a Thursday night. Make-up game. Quakers Hill Juniors and Park Lee will meet back here on this surface. Be sure to have your eyes glued to your social media feeds. We'll make sure it stays on Facebook this time, though. Ooh, that's a really strange decision to do there. Barrett has been rewarded in the sense that his team have come away with it. There was definitely a handball there, but advantage played. They've got plenty of numbers forward now. Eastern Creek into the blocks. Missed one. Cleared by the second, though. And then perhaps Levitt from distance. Levitt! No. Leaning back too much. In fact, he might have even hurt himself in taking that. Back to his feet, though. Sub's going to be made for Eastern Creek again. Might be their third and only sub that they have actually on the bench. Off, I believe, actually, that was Liam Hamilton there, who's went down initially. In fact, he's going to go down again. Knowing that his side have the opportunity with Oakville having a red, and knowing that he played in the reserve grade match as well, I can understand why he's in pain. It's been a long, long day for him. He's finally assisted off. Chris Lucas, who is a defender and only just recovering from an injury, the 25-year-old who wears 23, is actually going to be coming on in a striking position, looking to play that sort of enforcer role and test perhaps how well they can deal with a flick on Oakville. Almost his first touch there. He's going to be a menace. Don't be surprised if he picks up a yellow card in these last couple of minutes. He's going to have a lot to do. He's there to annoy his opposition's back line, test them. Now forward comes Elbra. The wonderful left foot himself. Wide that goes. That's Ao. Daniel, that is. Captain, Scott Young, who at 35 years old, soon to be 36, has done his duties wonderfully here. Although Oakville come forward. Oh, Logan Wilkins has a lot of pace, but the keeper should be able to get this first. He does and clears rather than bringing it back into the box. Oakville reclaim possession through Errol. Did that go out? Play on, it is. Long ball attempted, that's all they've got at the moment. Errol was down for the moment. He's back to his feet now. His side will have a throw-in as we move into the 88th minute of the game. I imagine maybe 4 or 5 minutes likely to be added on now. Let's see. Substitution being made. That's Jackson Deeth, whose nickname is Nemo, and he loves his hair. He changed it specifically for the match of the round. Good performance from him. It's a late change, their only change of the game so far in those impossible to miss red boots. Number 25, James Hook. Long that goes. Was involved in the reserve grade game was Hook. Oh, Araujo, great ball. Here is the enforcer himself with fresh legs. He takes a shot. The only way he would have known how to take that as a centre back himself was to fire it. Fire it he did. Fire it wide he did too. Another change here. Number 94, Darcy Perkis. Perkis, I should say. Another of the reserve graders coming on to try and make a late difference. Perhaps just holding out the fact they have 10 men. Their keeper, Azahar, in no rush to take this whatsoever. We are almost in the 90th minute now. Perkis on. Hook on as well. Bit of height as well, so those last minute balls into the box, they'll be there to defend them. Perhaps even flick them on in the case of Darcy as well. Long that goes and wide, asking a lot there of Dylan Lutkovsky. He's done very well in keeping it in. Yeah, they're not going to get the ball back, sure, but he did quite well athletically to keep that in. Again, this game, as it enters the dying embers of it, is looking for someone to make themselves a hero. Araujo, will it be him now? Lucas is in the box there. Araujo does brilliantly, a bit of flair there. He's into the box. Lucas is there, just too much on it for him to get his noggin to it, and it's cleared. Oakville survive. That's going to go out for a throw. So many times has the ball gone up in ridiculous heights and then been brought down off the head. Cleared. Really nicely done there by Zedric Catley-Bond. Whose ball? Eastern Creeks. Quickly they take. Can't be offside, of course, but it's snuffed out before it can find anyone in those dangerous areas on the flank. Perhaps a draw. Drawing closer. Miscommunication there, but it's going to fall back to the keeper, who will probably claim and slow things down. It will be wise, considering their position. Expect this to go into next week off of the boot. High, walk with the halfway line. Ooh, oh, they're coming together there. Everyone's come out of it okay, which is what I'm hoping for after some of the collisions today. Scott Young, wide to his right. Looking for the switch of play is Kurt Machut. Instead it goes up the line. Long ball won really well there by Matt Ryan. Sorry, I just had to cough for a moment. That's why my voice went strange. Oh, it's been missed by the defender and no runners in behind there to pick up the scraps. 91st minute, well gone. How much more time? Referee's looking at his watch. I'd expect at least 3 minutes. Long by Machut. Lots of work to do for Chase Win. If they want to chase a win here, they probably need to commit numbers forward, but that would be unwise, considering their numerical disadvantage. Machut, who's capable of brilliant. 2 left footers down the left flank here. 2 wands. Well done there by AO. Even better there by AO. And now into a dangerous area and cleared. But still now another ball might come in. Could this be where things change in the 6-pointer? Beautiful flick. And now Levitt is there and Lucas! Lucas has done it! Off of the bench, onto the score sheet to give his side the lead so late on in the match of the round. I talked about him being the enforcer. He was dangerous, he was brave. He ran into space, the ball found him, they couldn't clear their lines, and Oakville find themselves behind again, but this time, probably no time to respond. Brilliant moment of managerial masterclass by Matt Hederick to bring on that man. Welcome back to Match of the Round. Welcome back to Deploy PL2. Chris Lucas, you're a star today. Oakville, how much time do they have to respond? They've got another chance to go forward here, but boy, will this be slowed down. They just couldn't clear it. What a moment there. Chris Lucas.
Eastern Creek scored by number 23, Christopher Lucas. The score is now
Free kick, Oakville's way. Will this be the last chance? Last gasp. They've equalised once. Can they equalise again? Lutkovsky, the captain, needs to inspire them, push them up the field. Numbers need to come forward. You'd rather lose 3-1, 4-1 than 2-1, I can promise you. Now, forward they come. Perkis off the bench. Misdirected pass hasn't found his radar, not been switched on. It is cold out here. Needs some time to warm up off of the bench. Cleared long and wide. And in fact, it might even hold up. That's got to be annoying if you're an Oakville fan. And it seems your hold on that number 1 spot is in jeopardy, thanks to Chris Lucas and his blistering finish at the near post. Oh, space on the right, runners in behind. They look to find him off the bench, perhaps Hook. Yeah, it's cleared. How much time is left? I wish I could ask the referee. Ball's in the air again. Who's going to come away with it? Oakville have to be brave. They have to commit numbers forward here if they want to get a point. Point was a favourable result considering that they have an extra one to catch up on. But with Eastern Creek having this throw in their favour and the referee looking at his watch, I'm not sure that they've got time. Very, very long throw. Araujo, who's been really good at holding the ball up, actually got it into an area of danger. It was claimed easily by the keeper. He's gone quickly long up the line, I should say through the middle. Headed clear by Machut. There is Hook there. I will let you know the second that referee puts the whistle to his lips. He's holding it in his right hand. Now, forward they come. What a block there. It's actually hit some of the Eastern Creek fans watching along. Thankfully, they're all okay. Reaction time's tested there. Chase Wynn. They need to push forward. Time running away quickly. Wynn looking for options. Oakville not really looking to commit too many forward. It's found Wynn again. Throw in, Taker receives off of it again. Wynn now couldn't get past the tackle there of Sohn, who's dropped deep all day, but this time it's for defensive reasons. It's cleared again. Lukowski has to be quick. Here is Chris Lucas looking to enforce. Oh, no communication there, but they've come away with it fortuitously. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a big foul in here. It was just a big hard tackle instead. No foul. Brilliant there by Sohn, who's just an all-rounder. Up the line. It's just going to keep them in positions. Referee puts the whistle to his lips. This might be it. Eastern Creek, are they going to find 3 points today? That'll do it! Eastern Creek victors in such an important game here. Chris Lucas, a stroke of brilliance and a stroke of striking instincts for sure. Late on in the 91st minute, the hero for the Eastern Creek boys here today. But for Oakville, they were top and they had a chance via that penalty to get back into it. But really, I think Eastern Creek were the better of the two sides. Fantastic game we've had here in the match of the round. So glad that you guys all stayed around and watched to the very end. Don't ever leave your game once you buy tickets. Stay to the end. You see games that happen like that. Both these teams on a Wednesday night and Saturday night respectively play Minchinbury up next, who we're here to watch. Of course, I didn't mean to say Thursday. The Thursday night game is coming up later. Next week we are on Saturday, 7 p.m. I should say. We are back here at Blacktown Football Park for Quakers Hill Juniors and Parkley for more Deploy Premier League action. But until then, congratulations to Eastern Creek and their fans. Enjoy that one. You're top of the table. But until then, we'll see you next Saturday. Bye-bye.